It's always a pleasure for me to welcome you each and every week to your favorite channel on your favorite show. I'm your host, Princess McAfee. On this show today, I'm having two beautiful people, amazing people. And our topic of the day is, why are teacher-student relations important? And before then, keep following the Youth Circle playlist on YouTube and on Facebook. Do please continue liking, sharing, subscribing, and do your best to always comment. Positive student-teacher relationship involve a caring teacher that treats students equitably, believes that all learners can succeed, and get to know each student's strengths and needs to help them grow in their learning and confidence in themselves. It looks like open conversation, listening, and timely feedback. With me today are Miss Ngozi and Mr. Bilali.
Yeah.
You're very welcome, Miss Ngozi.
Thanks so much.
To the people viewing us at home.
Okay, my name, like she said, is Miss Ngozi Ikechukwu. I'm a lecturer and the director of Golden Saints Academy. Yes, Bagida. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Mr. Bilali.
Yeah, thanks so much. And hello to everybody. My name is Kojo Bilal Aruna, an English language teacher at Amitié Concord and Sikawi.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks so much.
As I said before, our topic today is, why is teacher-student relation important? And my first question to you guys will be, what defines a healthy teacher-student relationship? I'll start with Ms. Ngozi.
Okay, first of all, when you want to say something is healthy, you should look at it from an aspect of being strong or well. So if we want to define a healthy teacher-student relationship, we are looking at a relationship that is built with mutual trust, where both parties treat themselves with dignity, and a relationship that is also characterized with respect and open communication. I would lay emphasis on setting clear boundaries where both individuals know limit to their personal goals and personal responsibilities while respecting their personal space. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Mr. Bilali.
Yeah. Okay, for me, healthy relationship between teacher and student. Wow. In my opinion, it is a relationship between that positive relationship between teacher and the student that can lead to a welfare for both of them. Yeah, somehow, kind of definition like that.
How does a positive teacher-student relationship impact learning? When you are okay with your lecturer, when you are okay with the person that is coming in front of you to teach you, how will it impact your education?
Okay, first of all, off topic. When you have a good relationship with your boss, it creates a good working environment where you feel safe to come to work and all that. That's the same thing that happens when there's a positive relationship between the teacher and the student. It creates a beautiful, conducive climate around the school where the child is willing to learn, is engaging in different activities. And research has found out that a lot of students who have positive relationship with their students, with their teachers, tend to excel academically, and they also engage in activities. You see that child wanting to come around the school and all that. The child would want to participate in the classroom activity. Another thing is, it also helps the teacher in question to manage the classroom. It creates about this kind of classroom management where you don't find it difficult to communicate with your student, because you have a good relationship with them. When that child is not happy to come to school, or not happy or not willing, and you should also know what maybe must have prompted to that actual character.
But to do that, you need to be a teacher that has a kind of patience, because not all teachers can do that with their students.
Definitely.
And not all teachers take that into consideration. Okay. Mr. Bilali.
Yeah. For me, a positive relationship between teacher and student or learners always bring good success. It generates that success in the sense that I can say, if that there is that kind of good relationship, either the teacher will easily fulfill and develop what he is about to do, and taking the side of the student also, you positive. That means the world will open to you, and you will have that key to succeed. I can say, yeah, and also nothing good can be done through negativity. So it is just through positivity, though a positive relationship between teacher and student will create success, endeavoring, and such kind of emancipation, you know. Yeah,
that's true.
All that is true, but like as a teacher, how do you come to all those things? Is it by talking to your students, or by having conversation with your students or their parents, that you bring the students in positively? Or you just like look at the student and know what he knows or what he can do, and then you conclude by doing like bringing it positively?
You know, for me, if I should get your question, you're talking about the characteristics or an attitude, the right attitude of a good teacher
towards a
like
student.
For me, I feel every teacher should learn how to be patient, and I always advise my teachers at the school. I tell them that one thing you should do as a teacher is every morning when you come to school, you drink patience as a tea. I know why I'm saying that, because there's every tendency that these children want to trigger you, and if you want them to end that trust, and if you want to end that positive relationship, you should be somebody who should always be patient to listen to them. You should also earn the trust of being attentive, like your listening ability should be on 100. You want to hear what this child wants to say. For you to positively impact that child, you should know what that child's problem is and how to solve that problem. That's basically it. So developing patience and then building your listening ability as a teacher would guide you or help you to build this relationship with that child
and keep it so.
Yes.
Mr. Bilali, anything to add?
Please, can you come again with your question?
The characteristic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Characteristics. What I have to say here is this: teaching is means dealing with human beings. And dealing with human beings is totally different from
it's not
dealing
easy
with
animals and all that.
And nature.
Yeah.
So that teacher has to know first what he's about to do, and what he will be dealing with human beings. So that teacher has to be patient. And I can also talk about loving his work. If you don't love your work, no. You can never succeed.
That's true.
That teacher will be so patient, as she said so, and be consistent. Every morning before reaching the school, he has to know that today this is what he has to plan. What he is going to do, and if he really plan what he is going to do, wow, it will be so easy.
Going to be amazing.
Because I've been teaching since 2018, so I know what student is. They will try at all costs to
trigger you.
Down.
That's true.
You have first to know the class that you will be having affair with first. And secondly, prepare yourself
mentally and physically,
psychologically.
That's true.
So what are the boundaries of a teacher-student relationship in a professional setting?
Okay, in a professional setting, that is in a teaching setting, one of the things you should understand as a teacher is respecting the child's or the student's physical boundaries. That this boundary is talking about you respecting their personal space, where as a teacher you're not supposed to touch a child in a place that is inappropriate. Like kissing or touching that child. You just respect their physical, just like the word physical boundaries. Then another thing is you should also respect their confidentiality. I talk about it when I was defining the relationship. You're going to be having an open communication with this child, so you don't want to come and after that child has confided in you, you now come back to class saying there's a child here who doesn't know how to spell his name. You're opening that alone mind. It's not professional. And another thing is you acting professional as a teacher. There's an attitude you're supposed to earn. You're supposed to have integrity as a teacher, because whatever you tell these children, they believe is the right thing. Just like in the lecturing section, if I tell my student this book is sold for 20,000 and it will help you pass the exam, they believe that I'm saying the truth, so they can do anything to buy that book. So if I am lying, it's not professional. So you should be professional in your act. You should know when not to extort money, and I don't even advise teachers extorting money, because anything you tell the students, like I said, they would always want to buy from you. And then another thing again, that's one, I don't know if it is overemphasized in Africa, is this open communication. You should have a communication skill. There's a skill that is necessary for a teacher. That child should see you like a leader. I don't know if you get me. The child should be be confident in you, that whenever I come to Miss Ngozi, I should always have an answer to a question. Even if you don't have an answer, you just say, okay, wait, I'll come back to you. Maybe see me later. You should always be creative. You should be, as a teacher, you should be innovative. Anytime they come to you, they should believe that to an extent, I would have answer to this problem I'm going through. Thank you.
Okay, in my opinion, my humble opinion, boundary, I can say first, the teacher must respect himself or herself. Self-respect, and respect the learner also, because it is said, and it is always said, that the respect is not claimed. We merit respect. Wondering here, I can, to not go far from the topic, I can say the government has put some regulations that we should respect. That is said in the articles that teachers shouldn't be having some intercourses, obscure intercourses between their learners. You teacher, you have to respect the male gender, the female gender, and try to know that, I have some limit to respect with boys and with girls also. For example, in my school, I usually fear government's regulation. For example, it is forbidden that teachers should stay away from mostly girls, and even during break time, avoid sending them to bring you food, buy food, etc. Because it will be so much suspicious that there is something as a relation
going on between you guys.
To avoid all those issues, I have taken a kind of decision, which is, okay, I'll be doing everything by myself. Even going to buy food, even
to avoid
going to bring chores, etc. And apart from that, even if I'm dealing or I'm having course with Form 1 students, I usually respect them. They are students, and apart from being students, they are human beings. So, I respect them. They will automatically respect you.
Exactly.
And by doing so, they will be having no problem, and there will be no problem at all. So something like that, I can say.
The communication will just flow between the both of you.
Of course.
It just boils down to what he said about passion about the job. Like when you love your job, you can do anything. That's it.
So what qualities do you think a teacher should possess to build a good or a trust, to build trust between him and his students?
we've mentioned it before, but I'm going to recapitulate. And one of those attributes or characteristics
or qualities
of a good teacher, or a teacher that wants to earn trust, is the ability for you to be creative. Like I said, you should be somebody who is innovative. Like when that child comes to you, the child should believe, like, if I go to Monsieur, I should get an answer to this question. So whenever that child finds himself in that kind of situation, he wants to just meet Monsieur because he believes that Monsieur has that answer to the question. Another thing again is the leadership skill that I mentioned before. You should be somebody who is who should possess some kind of leadership, an ability to lead these children. They should see it in you. You understand?
Yeah.
I don't like you said, respect is earned. It's because of the way you carry yourself. That's why these children would respect and you would earn the trust in question. Then another thing is the ability for a teacher to be flexible, for you to adapt when that child is not, or when you should just know how to adapt to the situation. When the child is not in the mood, try to find something that will make that child come out of that mood, to the mood you want that child to be in. So the ability for you to be flexible is another thing again that the teacher needs. And then patience with active listening. Like I said before. Thank you.
Okay, for me, quality that the teacher should have is this. First, that teacher should be consistent. That teacher should be loving so much his work. And I will stop a little bit here by saying that there is a difference between, I'm looking for a job, though. As far as I found nothing, there is a teaching there that I can embrace. No, you have to love the work. You have to be consistent, and you have to be also coherent. And by doing so, either the administration and the school learners also will say, "Oh, he is much more different from
the others."
And you have to make the learners trust you. If they don't trust you, you can never succeed in that. That is a kind of quality. So the quality that's overpass all is love. If you really love your work, wow,
you know how to go about it.
Yeah, exactly. Even the stubborn student, you will know how to deal with.
Yes.
A good teacher, he has to be that comedian. That's hardworking person. And that Mr. O, he like an artificial intelligence. He must master doing everything in summary.
Thank you. We have students of different backgrounds. So how can teachers effectively communicate with their students, no matter how the background they have?
Okay, I believe in diversifying in communication, like where you make your language as a teacher very simple and concise, meaning you should find a way, because in doing this, first of all, as a teacher, you should learn or study your students individually. Child A's character is quite different from child B, the same with child C. So you studying your child, first of all, that's the first step. In fact, studying your students, knowing what their areas of difficulty is, knowing where their areas of challenge and where they are good at. Because there's this thing I always believe as a teacher over the years. I don't believe a child is dumb. That child may not understand this particular subject. It doesn't define the child as being dumb. Okay, when you study that child, you know how to diversify in your communication. You know that maybe after teaching the general class, you can now call Amaka at the side and then try to bring it down to Amaka's level, you know, making sure that Amaka, that's one thing where the passion comes in, because if you're just doing it because you want to earn a salary, I tell you, you will not have the mind to call Amaka back, you know, to teach Amaka. So I believe in diversifying in communication. And then the next thing to do again is understanding every child from different walks of life, because where the child is having so much love, I mean in a family setting where the child believes from the home, he already believes in himself, the way that child will carry his learning, it will be definitely different from a child who is paying, especially in the university. I'm talking about the young adults now, will be different from a child who is, you know, going to be a child that will be learning from an aspect that I'm the one going to pay my school fees and all that. So you should know how to work with this individual student from different walks of life. I think with knowing your students and diversifying in communication, this can help you work with students from different backgrounds. Yes, thank you.
Okay, to the question, how can a teacher effectively communicate? Pedagogically speaking, after the resumption, I mean, not even after the first day of the resumption, while going through classes, you have to study first the class and individually the learners. That can take time. What do I usually do? I intervene in junior high school, that we call college, senior high school, technical school also, though. You have to know first where you're going. Secondly, you have to be ready to go through some, how can I like some word, but you have to know the different layers in that education. For example, you have class with from one student, the style that you be using there must be different from the style that you'll be using in high school. You have to vary yourself. The teacher, that good teacher has to vary himself, and the way you're going to deal with from one student must be a little bit different from the way you'll be dealing with from two students, and mostly from junior high school. Generally, the first day, mostly in high school, senior high school, mostly in Serie 4. They are a little bit upsetting there, though you have to set up that from that first day some regulation that will help you either. Otherwise, you'll be having some trouble. Characteristic, you have it to be so that decision-taking person while it is your turn, and while having class, you have to set up some regulation. Otherwise, you'll be having trouble. Something like that. And also, I've already said it, that you have to vary your teaching style. You have to vary.
Melange.
The way you're going to deal with the lower classes students must be totally different from the way you deal with in higher classes. So these are what I can quote as characteristics. So
that you can avoid like repeating yourself every day. Because some people end up repeating themselves, saying the only thing they say every day, and we end up sometimes laughing at some of our teachers that when they come to class, they always say the only one thing that they have in their mind, or they always go their own way, or the one way they have.
I feel as a teacher as well, you should be, I don't know if it's possible for you to be unpredictable. Like for me, my students always say that today she's laughing. Don't be too, especially the university students, say she might not be in the mood, but she's smiling. You know, I always talk about emotional regulation as a teacher as well. So where you trying to balance, you know, like you say, diversify. You being somebody who can use any style of teaching. Shouldn't go with one method of teaching.
So how should you as a teacher handle conflict among your students?
this is a lot, because you have, in a class of 30, you have students coming from different backgrounds, different walks of life and all that. So first thing I want to do as a teacher is communicating the right resolution skills, like you being able to say sorry when you're wrong. I know it may not work in every child. You know, there are some children that are usually stubborn, but as a teacher, you first of all teach them, you know, set classroom rules and regulation. There should be an expectation from you as a teacher. Like for me, you don't fight in my class. If you fight, you go under suspension. So they have this in their head that when you fight in my class, you go under this kind of punishment. Another thing is you should listen attentively, because when this kind of, especially when it's between a child and another child, so you want to listen very well. You're, like I said, as a teacher, your listening ability is supposed to be on 100, because you deal, as a teacher, you deal with your ears and your heart as a teacher. So you should be able to listen, so you know you can identify the underlying issues. There should be a difference between an accident and an intentional trigger or an intentional aggression. When somebody maybe accidentally stepped on you, and when somebody intentionally wants to look for your trouble. So with that, I think you can manage, you know, when you define, especially when you define your classroom regulation and listen, then teach them resolution skills where they say I'm sorry when they are wrong. I think this can work out.
And you know, some students are very good in lying. They can hurt their other colleague, but behave as if they are the right people, they are doing the right thing, and they'll come to you and then they'll like build a story to you that you believe in it.
A teacher is a mother for me, you know. I don't know how our mothers used to find out that we're lying. It's because you have studied that child over time. If you notice a child that has never fought before, has never been involved in an activity or maybe a tyrant activity, and all of a sudden that child comes out and is beating somebody, you want to understand why this action. Why behind that action. I know it's not right for you to fight, but there must be something. That's why as a teacher you should study your child. You should rather your student. You should study them, so you know when this child is a threat. There's a child that will come to you, even as an auntie that you are, and somebody say Ekene beats me. You are already like, it's true, he will beat you because he's stubborn. So there's this thing that should come. That's why I said you're listening, and then this, I don't know, God will help us as teachers, you know.
Can I tell you?
Yeah, Mr. Binani.
Okay. Dealing with conflict or issues, I can say the teacher must be neutral.
Okay.
He must play on his neutrality and listen to the both
sides.
Here, I've gone through something like a scene 2 years ago. I was in that class, terminal, when two girls have started fighting. All the mates were so joyful. They say, okay, we will see who will be the winner, who will succeed in beating the next. And I say, no, I can never be here and allow such a thing to happen. I stood up and went to the place where they were fighting, and I separated them. And I said, no, that can never happen here. There's no, the class prefect and his mates, they say, no, teacher, you can never do that. You can never do such a thing. And you have to let them fight so that they will know.
You see the winner.
The winner. And I said, no, you know what? After all, we are human beings. And let me tell you something, that I will separate them, and you will see that tomorrow they will be hanging out together as brother or sister. And I did so. Next day, I was so surprised seeing those who were about to fight the day before hanging out. That kind of friendship and brother or sisterhood, I've never seen that before. I will say, do you see now? Now, if as you were reacting to let them fight, now if somebody was injured, what will be the result today? Will they laugh? Will they chill as they're chilling right now? No. this is the reason why I say the teacher has to be first natural. He has to emerge, or am I going to is it emerge, or he has to stop that fight, and listen to them,
both of them.
I can say that my
time is not in our favor. Any last word you want to say in a sentence?
Okay, I don't know, but for you to build another kind of trust again, is this trust of emotional, like where that child gets to see you not just as a teacher but as a social partner. While respecting boundaries. You can go beyond, like sharing, your life experience with that child, so that the child knows that I'm not just telling you this thing because I want you to pass this course, but I want you to be better. I want you to be better. And basically, when you build that kind of environment around that kind of relationship where they don't just see you as teachers, they see you like
as their friend,
but while respecting boundaries. So,
Mr. Bilali,
okay, I can say in my school, to not tell lies, all my learners are my friends. I usually tell that no matter what we be going through here, you're after all my friend. Age is just a number. Though if you build trust in your learners, they'll be treating you as either their parent, my friend, brother or sister of the same bloodline, and you will easily succeed in doing your task.
Exactly. Exactly.
So thank you very much to Ms. Ngozi and Mr. Bilali for honoring the invitation and for coming today to the Youth Cycle. I think teachers should create a supportive environment where students feel safe to express themselves and engage in learning. Before we wrap up today's episode, I'll give a shout out to my production team, my producer Jerry Atiogbe, to the director Risha Korofanga, his assistant and my MCR Samaj Geli, to the whole production crew. A very big thank you to you guys for the great job you guys are doing. Remember to keep following the Youth Cycle playlist on YouTube and on Facebook, and keep liking, commenting, subscribing and sharing. The Youth Cycle is broadcast on New World TV every Friday at 11:15 a.m. and at 6:15 p.m. and also repeat every Sunday at 6:15 p.m. This was the Youth Cycle with me, Princess McAfee, and my guests, Miss Ngozi and Mr. Bilali. Bye bye till I come your way next week. Bye.